Right, today I'm here with John. We're going to be talking about the Atomizer 7700 gun and kind of, something that happened to me that was a problem, and we're going to talk about how to fix that problem if you ever run into the same thing. Now we have inside, the front of this gun, kind of a nylon gasket or something. We call it a fan distributor plate.
Air distributor plate.
An air distributor plate. Now, I put everything back together. I went to start spraying, and I was just spraying a circular pattern.
That's it.
And I'm like, what the heck? And I started adjusting my fan control knob or ring right here,
Yep.
and it didn't do anything. And so I knew something was not together right. I eventually, went. Broke out the manual, read the manual, figured it out, what was going on. Every time I would clean the gun, put it back together, I kind of struggled with this in the beginning. Which way does this plate go in? Right. And you came up with something very simple that, worked for me and kind of just resonated with me. 12 and 6. So can you show us, if you run into that issue, how to resolve it?
Yeah, it's a real common problem for sure when you're reassembling the gun, especially for those people that aren't familiar with it and just purchase it. So let's run through it. So the part we're talking about is actually buried underneath all of the air distributors. So we need to remove the nozzle and pull that whole assembly off. So we got the nozzle, the air distributor, and here's where we have the fan control ring and the air distributor plate. So these two pieces here are critical for your fan pattern control, right? The way they are now, they will give you full adjustment. What typically happens though, as you can see, the slots in here, I'm holding it up, are at 12 and 6 o'clock. And if I flip it around so hopefully you can see that in the video, you can see through the slots in the back of the fan control. That's important because when I flip it around and I put it in backwards, you can see that when I put it in backwards, that the disc or the air distributor plate is actually blocking the air from coming through these slots in the back of the fan control ring. And that's going to block off all of your air supply going to the ears of the air cap, which basically only gives you a round pattern.
Right.
So that's very common. The easiest way to tell, if you put it back together and you have the fan control ring where your slots are at 12 and 6 o'clock, but then when you put the air distributor on it, your slots are now at 3 and 9 o'clock.
Right.
Right? And so that's blocking the holes off. So what we want when we put this all back together is to have all of the slots at 12 and 6 o'clock. So when I hold that up, again, we have all the air that's able to go from the back through into the front of the gun so that it's feeding the air evenly to the ears and to the center hole in the air cap.
And that small circular hole, that's going to line up with the pin.
With the
right
pin on
there.
the back here, yeah. So all of this is aligned with the pin. And the only thing the pin does is just stops this whole assembly from rotating in the spray gun so that when I turn the ring, I'm not going to rotate the whole assembly.
Right.
I'm only going to just rotate the ring because it's that ring, and I don't know again if this will come out in the video, but it's that ring. When I rotate it, it closes off the holes, and that's how it distributes the air to the ears, or basically controls the fan pattern width all the way down to a round pattern. So by shutting the air off to the ears of the air cap, we force the air all the way through the center hole, and that just gives you a round pattern.
And then this pin that you had there, that's going to line up with the hole in the face of the gun.
So this whole assembly usually comes off in one piece, and I usually will put it back together. In fact, I'll just drop the nozzle in here as well, and it makes it real easy because then you can just drop this whole assembly onto the front of the gun and then just kind of wiggle it until you feel it drop into the hole, and now you have it all lined up, and I can just tighten down my nozzle.
So you're going to tighten down your nozzle now.
Finger tight, and then just a little bit on the wrench, not too much. And now when you put the gun back and you go back to spray, you'll have your full fan width control and be able to have all the different widths of fan pattern, including your round pattern.
Yep. So there you have it. If you've ever run into that problem like I have, and now you understand, how to resolve it, you understand how to install the distributor plate.
Air distributor
plate 12 and 6 is something, an easy way for me to remember to install it correctly every single time so I don't have to tear it apart and reinstall it. If you got any questions or comments about this video, just leave it down in the comment section below. We'll try to answer them as soon as we can, and we'll see you next time right here on Paint Life TV. Out.